really was an exciting finale, and the winner came out to be someone that I feel like almost everyone is really thrilled that she won. I don't feel like there's a lot of arguing over, like, he won, and why doesn't this person have a Mirrorball trophy? And there's less of that.
I feel like usually whenever Derek gets a win, there's so many people that are, like, Derek haters a little bit out there, and I'm like, he truly deserved to win, and mainly because of Bindi, because I feel like she's kind of changed this show in a little bit. Like, she's really made people bring their personality to the forefront and work hard. It's nice.
Yeah, I keep on calling it. I go, this is a Bindi win. Now, of course, Derek helped her get there, because without his choreography and his dancing, she wouldn't have won. But I really feel like this is a Bindi win, and everyone seems very happy about it. I also think that she brought some new eyeballs to the show. I think a lot of people were starting hearing the buzz, because even at my other job, people are like, oh, how's that Bindi doing? How's that Bindi? They're hearing it. They're seeing it on Facebook.
That positivity radiates forever. Like, it's amazing. It's like crossing so many boundaries with people. It's great.
Yes, besides the fact that I want to be Bindi when I grow up, because
Me too.
She has an understanding of life and self that I'm still trying to figure out. And I wrote it down too, but struggle with joy. That was the message, struggle with joy, because we all have struggles, but she does it with a smile on her face. And I think we've all learned a lot from her.
Truly. And I love that all the judges said that too. They were like, this is one of my, even Carrie Ann was like, this is one of my favorite seasons because of you.
Kind of
that's amazing.
You know, and I had interviewed Derek very early in the season. In fact, it hadn't even aired. He had met his partner. She wasn't officially announced either. This was at the choreographer's reception for the Emmys. So we're talking about early September.
Oh, wow.
And he had said then that she was spiritual, she was connected to the earth, he felt really good about this. He had a sparkle in his eye that I haven't seen him talk about a partner that way in a while, so it was interesting.
I mean, I truly think that he's changed her, she has changed his scope of this show forever. I think that this season seems so refreshed and so awesome, but I think he's had so much going on the past few seasons. This season, he felt so in it and ready to win it, because he was like, I want to do great by this girl.
Yeah, and he said that, he felt like he disappointed Nastia, which I felt, she tweeted out later, you didn't disappoint me. And I feel that on for both of them, that it was a tough season last year. And this supposedly is his last contracted season with Dancing with the Stars. Wow. We don't know if he's renewed yet, or if he's thinking renewing, or if he's thinking of moving on. So it would be a nice little button on his Dancing with the Stars career if he chooses to move on.
Yeah, what a way to end it. That's like the perfect ribbon on the present.
Yeah, and this was an overall season. A lot of weird things happened. You had Kim and Tamar have life-threatening illnesses. You had Tom Bergeron losing his dad. We had the Paris situation. We had the Portland situation. A lot of drama, a lot of sadness, a lot of tragedy, and it was nice to have this little ray of light from Australia.
For some reason, I don't know what I believe in terms of that kind of spiritual thing, but I think that the show needed Bindi the entire season to help provide that light through. Honestly, it was great, because she helped a lot of people get through all these tough times that we've been having. So I'm thankful for her.
I am too.
I really am.
I am too. And hats off to Kim Johnson, who I also interviewed somewhere around that same time as Derek, and she said she's going to win, and she was right.
You called it. She called it.
All right, we're going to move on to Bindi and Derek. We will talk about Bindi and Derek and then get Surrey all set up. But Carrie Ann and Abba came in. They did the quick step, and this was from week 3. I have to say, personally, that it was it's just in front of the camera. No big deal. I think that this was the perfect dance to do again, because they had done the Jeffersons. It was TV week. They didn't get clearance for their original song, and everything, the concept had changed. So it wasn't as clean as it could have been. It certainly was good to start with, but this was a great way to redo it. And it was interesting because Derek wasn't feeling well, but it still came out pretty darn good.
He looked so sick. I was like, that's crazy, because you see him and he's always just like always game on. And that was awesome to see her like back slowly away, like,
don't get me sick.
You cough, I'm not getting sick. But I thought this dance was amazing, and it's so high energy, which is what she does best. I mean, she does everything great. I mean, let's face it. But I thought this was an awesome way to like end this little round of dances because it was like high energy, high octane. They nailed this. Like she was
high level of difficulty. It's the quick step.
And those shoulders, ooh, they were so good. And her feet are just.
Her feet are to die for.
Yep.
You know me and my little pointed toe issue, and I was always looking for, and I'm like, nope, they're always pointed. They're good.
Yeah, you can't falter at all.
Sorry, welcome.
I know. Hi, guys. Yeah, you know what? Speaking of pointed toes, I mean, how impressed are you with them, considering she literally is not an athlete? She wasn't a dancer. She wasn't gym, whatever, right?
She's nothing.
Like that's hard. I yell at gymnasts all night long to turn their toes out and point their toes. So it was perfection to me. Excuse me, perfection. That whole number from start to finish.
Yep.
Just wow, wow, wow. And I wrote some nice swear words down about how amazing I thought it was.
It really was. You know, I always think about the pointed toe thing. I'm like, she's so connected to the earth. I wonder if it's just like that connection, like it's a couple, because it's a mental thing, because people don't always think of their feet and extending them, and they just like leave them hanging,
especially when you're connected to another person. Like you have to think about all those things, and on top
extending
of your
the
toes
arms,
being
the
pointed,
legs.
it's just it's a lot to handle. And for her to not be like a traditional like stage performer, she
Unreal.
gives everybody a masterclass in like what this show is about.
In
really.
every way.
Performing.
Every single way.
Yep.
That's what's so incredible about it.
Yeah, and we've talked, I think, extensively over the seasons of like how you have to like open yourself up to the process, give yourself, be emotional about it, and it was all there.
Yep.
And at 17 to be all there, I know I wasn't. I would have been like way more reserved.
So timid, yeah.
Well,
I would
she's
have
just
been.
so special. She's
Yeah.
a special human being.
She's otherworldly, as I've said, all season long. But 30 on that, and I don't think any one of us would have an argument over that.
Absolutely not.
Next up, Derek and Bindi. I think the greatest word to describe this, and Derek said it in the package, was authentic. And she's had an authenticity all season long that we've seen, and I think that was the sort of the adjective he kept in mind when choreographing, and I think that's exactly what we got.
I mean, the lifts that they did in this number, that lift where she like spun full tour and like down into the split, I was like, what? That's impossible for a lot of people that aren't dancers to be able to do something like that. And she, it makes me like at a loss for words a little bit. And I got really emotional during this dance because she just embodied exactly what she needed to. It was perfect. It was perfect. And there was some moments I wish that there would have been like a little bit more dancing, especially at the end, like with just the walk and then like them connecting. However, this dance honored their journey throughout this whole show, which is their connection. And I was like, that's great to see.
I literally could talk an hour about this dance, Bindi. I actually, it took me, I think I texted you, it took me an hour to get through the routine because I was crying so much. I agree with the judges that, when they were saying that, thank you to your parents for creating you. I was like, yes, 100%. That she does each moment to its fullest potential. Every single moment. She changed me from watching her this season and watching this number and every number. But, what can you possibly say more than what we've said? It was unbelievable, like absolutely flawless.
It's interesting that she says, you guys changed my life. But I was sitting there thinking about this, and I have both of my parents, but, and unless you guys have walked in the same shoes as Bindi, where you lose a parent very young, and that loss, that sorrow and everything, it seems like dance was very cathartic for her to sort of work through that grief. Because I think as you get older too, you realize like he's not going to be there for my high school graduation or my college graduation or the day I get married. And I feel like because she's such a positive person, she lives up here all the time, or up here, honestly, the stuff that was really down deep really allowed her, it came out in a really beautiful way.
Right. And what she said was, I think in post interviews and whatnot, or maybe even in the show, I can't remember now, but that Dancing with the Stars gave her an opportunity to explore and express those areas that she didn't think she was ever going to be able to. And that was like, Jesus.
Well, and she's had to grow up so fast, being so young and letting that happen, and also trying to continue on his legacy and trying to have her own career. She's had so many avenues to be distracted from like dealing with that pain and harboring that. It either can affect you in such a great way or such a negative way. And for her, it skewed her, and of course, in this amazing, like, up here place. But for her to go into these, like, explore these, like, darker characters, she actually has that to deal, like, to feed off of, instead of it being like, I'm just an actress. Like, this is what I'm going to feel. It's like, this is like an actual emotion that she has that she's probably never ever dealt with. And I think that's awesome to be able to witness somebody, especially that young, be able to, like, pull out all these different shades and colors, and it's fantastic. It's breathtaking.
It is. I hope she keeps dancing because she's got a natural talent that is
Crazy
just unbelievable. I know.
Crazy.
I'm envious, I will say.
Yeah.
You know, and it is. You look at those moments and you look at what she's doing in terms of lifts and turns and just even the little details of pointed feet and extended arms, and you're like, that's amazing.
Expression, everything from top to bottom.
I mean, it's almost like what she's gone through in her entire life, like losing her dad, was all leading up to this moment to be, like, kind of reintroduced to the American public, at least, because I think people over here, especially in the United States, have probably not remembered her throughout her growing up, you know, especially just because she's so much involved with the Australian Zoo. But I mean, I'm so happy that we all get to be reintroduced to her, especially in this such a positive way. We're all like, there's her dad. Like, we all missed him, and there he is, right with her, you know, so that's really cool.
Where do you think ABC, you know that they're going to give her a show or a special or a something, because they're not going to let her go, just like walk away.
No.
Come on, they're going to be like, we got to sign you up for something.
They're trying to figure it out for sure.
For me, in 7 seasons, it was the most memorable person, most memorable dances, most memorable everything.
I agree, and I think it was interesting last night, just even watching on Twitter. You know, some people are like, I really want a Mirabelle trophy for Sharna. Like, I felt for Nick, but no one was like, but I've loved Bindi. Like, no one was really like, gosh, why didn't so-and-so win?
Win.
She makes you root for her. Bindi and Derek did the cha-cha and the Argentine tango.
Oh, come on.
Like, this girl was like, I'm just going to be like, I mean, there was so much excitement. Everyone was standing ovation.
Even the judges are, like, freaking out. It was
in
great.
the middle of the dance. They're all like, yeah.
It was outstanding.
Yeah.
Outstanding. Did you not think so?
I was
Completely.
Like,
just complete freedom.
Yes.
she's like a little torpedo. She is. She's just
Where
like...
does she get that?
I don't know.
You know, it's funny because, I mean, I guess maybe from her dad, because I do see Terry Irwin. She's always like happy but reserved and everything. And her brother's happy, but it's interesting. I was like, she must get all of that, like, energy from Steve. Vivacious, outgoing.
Well, the two of them created a light being, if there is ever one.
Mm-hmm.
So interesting. 30 for that. And then all of a sudden she wins. And I think, you know, it is always interesting. She wins. Hooray. Well, no, they shuttle everyone. First, they, like, throw everyone over to the Grove. And then they throw everyone back to the ballroom. And I was like, this is a lot of, like, shuttling back and forth, which is unnecessary. But we got to use both sets.
For excitement.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of money on these sets, so we are going to make sure we get
our money's worth.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, bye, Alec. You're going to stay at the Grove, and then we're going to send everyone to the ballroom so Bindi can win. And that was strange. And it's always interesting to see who rushes forward to hoist the people.
We watch that every season.
It's always political, but I will say it was just a wonderful mixture of people.
Did you guys notice Gary Busey handing Derek and Bindi 2 weird things? And
was it like a book or something?
Somebody came out and nowhere and, like, snagged those off TV. I don't know what
I saw that too, and he was like, it's a blah, blah, blah.
And
Like,
like they were like, get that off camera. You know, they were like, what is that?
Oh my God.
What's Gary doing?
The gifts come later.
Mess.
But, you know, I mean, Tony was in the mix. Bruno was in the mix. Kim Zolciak, who just had heart surgery, is like hoisting Bindi up. I'm like, but that's really cool. I mean, just that people were celebrating it. And for me, just watching it, you know, from a fan perspective and seeing the social media and seeing that it just wasn't so negative the way it's been in the last, you know, 3, 4, 5 seasons.
It was clear that everybody was happy and everybody kind of came together, where we've seen past seasons where there was like a divide and not everybody was out there celebrating, and it was really beautiful. I enjoyed this season, and like I said, you know, we've covered 7 seasons together, and I think this one will stand out the most because of everyone, but I will say because of Bindi and what she brought and how she affected me, and I'm sure many millions of people.
I completely agree.
I think there'll be a mix-up just because I don't think Derek will be back. I think it would be wise for him to move on at this point.
Yeah.
You know,
At least
clearly
for a season
I would
or
miss
two.
him, but, you know.
And what does the show look like without Derek? That's the other interesting thing. And because I'm sure ABC will try and like back up the Brinks truck to his house to be like, well, how much do you want? But I don't think I just don't think it's about money because he has so many opportunities at this point. And what does he want to do in his life? He's still young. But
how do you top that experience?
No.